Hi everyone, this is Jason Zach from Nathaniel School of Music. In this lesson, we're going to use the concepts of cadences, the circle of fifths, to practice major and minor chords really well, and not just major and minor chords well enough, but also with their respective inversions and also in a real world context wherein this major chord and that minor chord, or that minor and that other minor, could actually work as part of a scale of interest or a mode that you're working on, or a raga, or maybe you want to harmonize a scale from scratch and you don't know which chords to use. This will be a lesson for you. So get your books out, get your keyboards out, play along with me, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for regular notifications. Consider getting my handwritten notes for this lesson and everything else that we've done on our Patreon page, and your support will also mean a lot for our growth. And that's about it. Let's get cracking. So first off, you have the circle of fifths. Let's revise that clockwise. C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, D flat, A flat, E flat, B flat, F, C. So when you go clockwise, it's perfect fifths galore. So G is the perfect fifth of C, A is the perfect fifth of D, and B is the perfect fifth of E, and so on and so forth. When you move the circle of fifths in the counterclockwise direction, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C. So when you're moving in counterclockwise direction, C to the F. So if C is the first note, then its fourth, C's fourth is F, F's fourth is B flat, B flat's fourth is E flat, but B flat's fifth is F. So when you're doing B flat's fifth, it goes clockwise, neighbor. And when you go fourth, it's counterclockwise, neighbor. So that's the circle of fifths ecosystem. We have it written down. You should also probably write it. You can even pause the video and so on. Now, coming to cadences, which are these super tiny chord progressions, basically two chord progressions. Should have just said that actually. Anyway, so the authentic cadence is where you move counterclockwise, and the authentic cadence is where you're resolving 5 to 1, or the chord progression is 5 going to 1. Authentic or the perfect cadence, 5 going to 1. Plagal cadence is where you're going 4 to 1. So the fourth degree resolves to 1. And the direction of motion for the authentic cadence was counterclockwise. For plagal, the direction would be clockwise. Okay, so the way to look at it is, if I'm moving authentically or in a perfect cadence, G to C would be looked at as G is the 5 of the C, while merely looking at it as a circle of fifths without any chord knowledge would be C's fifth is G. So C becomes your reference point, and with reference to C, G is the fifth. But the way to look at cadences is, where does that resolve to? Or where does A flat resolve to D flat? So when you're resolving 5 to 1, you move this way and you're forming the authentic cadence. Another extension of the authentic cadence would be the jazz cadence, which is a 2-5-1. Now we've done detailed lectures on cadences, types of them, how to use them, how to hear them, and how to compose with them. We'll leave you a few links in the description, but however, head over to our channel as well. You'll find all the lessons neatly laid out. Fine. So the plagal cadence would mean the other direction. It would be the clockwise direction. So if you do F to C, F's fifth is C. You might think, oh, you're moving in fifths. F's fifth is C, C's fifth is G. You could say that, but cadentially, or when you're resolving chordally, F is the fourth of the C. Okay, so that's the plagal. You're going from 4 to 1, 4 to 1. Okay, now throughout this lesson so far, I've just said 4 to 1, or I've said 5 to 1. I've not said 4 major or 4 minor, or 5 major or 1 major, 1 minor. That's because you can just change them depending on the scale you're in. So if you look at it from a very simple binary perspective, major, minor, two options, 2 to the power 2, 4. So you'll get 4 possibilities with 5 to 1. So the 5 could be major or minor, the 1 could be major or minor. So if it's 5 major going to 1 major, you can kind of assume that you're on the major scale, right? So if you take, I'll do this on the key of D. 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So what's the 5 of the D? A is the 5 of the D. Or A, the authentic cadence would be A or A7 going to D major. Now in the D major scale, both the 5 and the 1, or the dominant and the tonic, form or diatonically form major chords or major triads. Of course, when you extend it, the 5 becomes a dominant 7th, the 1 becomes a major 7th. That we'll leave aside for later. So 5 to go to 1 will also highlight the major scale. It'll actually say, hey, if ever I hear a 5 going to 1 in a song, or if ever my musicians are on the major scale, I should practice, or I should move 5 to 1, or I should play the 5 chord as major or the 1 chord as major. Now what about 5 major going to 1 minor? This could highlight the harmonic minor. So if I just sing D harmonic minor as I'm playing 5 to 1, the cadence, same cadence. La da 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 da, la da 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 do 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 do, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, right? La da 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 da. So I'd encourage you now to look at the circle and say, okay, if I play an E major, where will that resolve to? E is the 5 of the A. But if you do E major, A major, it's kind of very major. So E major to A minor would be highlighting the harmonic minor. I said it highlights the harmonic minor, or shapes out, or assumes, or could be the harmonic minor. I didn't say it is the harmonic minor, because when you have 2 chords, they have 1 note in common. So that will be, if you look at it, a chord now has 3 notes, right? 1 is in common. So that will just be 5 notes. So with 5 notes, you can't guarantee that it is the harmonic minor, but it also gives you the freedom to form other scales with respect to this cadence, isn't it? La da 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 da. You can do stuff la da 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 la da. So I'm doing a sharp 4 in my scale. That's a perfect. That would be the sharp 4. So normal harmonic minor. There we go. So if the 5 is minor and the 1 is major, you get a regular Mixolydian vibe, don't you? Because of that A minor coming in, which highlights the flat 7. So okay, so it's a huge change, a huge emotional or a thematic change compared to the harmonic minor. 5 major to 1 minor, Mixolydian being the other way. 5 minor to 1 major. So, okay, and what about 5 minor to 1 minor? Now this could just be Aeolian or natural minor. Remember, we are just taking 2 chords, And this is still the authentic cadence. So just to conclude with the authentic cadence, la da 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 da, D major, versus la da 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 da, D harmonic minor, that one, right? And then la da da da, that would be minor, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, Mixolydian. La da 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 da. And then we have the regular minor. La da 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 da. Okay. What about the Plagal cadence? Let's execute the Plagal cadence the same way, 4-1. So what is 4-1 major? Both major. So I continue to be in the key of D, but the scales might change to major, Mixolydian, harmonic, as we saw earlier. So if I take the 4 major going to the 1 major, this could highlight either the major scale, la da 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 da, or it could highlight the what? The Mixolydian scale. La da 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 da. Because I have not committed to my 7th. La da 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 da. Now it has to be major because all the 4 chords are major. But had I done la da 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 da, then it becomes Mixolydian because I'm doing 1 major, 5 minor and 4 major, right? What about now the binary permutation? So we've done major, major. What about major, minor? Major 4 going to minor 1 would be, I'm sure you can feel this, the Dorian scale. Na, 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 da, da, da. It's a minor. Na, 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 da, 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 da. La, da, 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 da. La, da, 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 do, 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 do. And if you add it with the la, da, 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 very much Dorian. So that's 4 major going to 1 minor. So now what about 4 minor going to 1 major? It'll be a G minor, 4 minor going to D major. So that we call that as the Mixolydian flat 6 scale. It's a mode of the melodic minor. There we go. You could also call it the Charukeshi rag, which we call in India. So you do G minor, ba da da, la da 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 da, da 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 da, la da 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 da, da. Okay. What about minor, minor? Now, if you do 4 minor to 1 minor, it could be either the harmonic or the natural minor. Or it could be. But how do we commit to either harmonic or natural? If it's harmonic, the 5 will be major. If it's natural or Aeolian, the 5 will be minor. So, full-on Aeolian would be la da 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 da, la da 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 da. All 1, 4 and 5 are all minor. Lot of despair and grief in this, I guess. Then if we have to make it harmonic minor, la da 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 na na, la da 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 do do, la da 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 da, na 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 na. What about Dorian? That's interesting. 1 minor, 4 major, 5 minor. Very brave progression. And the same thing you could do with major. All three majors, very major scale. It's literally the major scale, but 1, the mixo flat 6 or the Charukeshi. Or what if you do 1, 4 and 5 minor? Very Mixolydian, right? So I did drift a bit towards the theoretical side, but my advice when you're learning the piano is to not focus on just play what's in front of you. It's to think and play. Understand, assess the situation, and then give yourself a goal of playing it only when you've understood why you're playing it, or at least what is it that you are playing. Name it, define it. I am practicing the Plagal Cadence, minor minor, or I am practicing the authentic cadence, major minor, which would kind of give out the harmonic minor scale. Write it down. Do one key every week. Keep the circle of fifths with you. Okay, so that's about the lesson, but just to let you know, you can learn all of this stuff and a lot more with a bunch of other practice resources, doubt clearing classes where you can interact with me live, ask me questions, and I will respond to you back in a class. You'll also get regular workshops, and you'll also get structured courses. All you have to do is head over to nathanielschool.com and you'll find what we call as the Everything for Life bundle, which is a compilation of courses, practice tools, books, workshops, doubt clearing lessons, and it's only going to get bigger. So do consider heading over to nathanielschool.com, and I will look forward to catching you in the next video. And if you like the lesson, do consider giving it a like. There's a thumbs up, give it a hype. There's a new feature out there on YouTube for smaller channels like us, and share the video with your friends and musician circles, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and turn on the bell for regular notifications. I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.